speak to him. Robbie? Good morning, everyone. We will be getting started in about 5 minutes, so please make your way to a chair. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I am Roseanne Caruana, the Department of Transportation Staten Island Borough Commissioner. Welcome to the commissioning of the newest Staten Island Ferry, the Sergeant Michael H. Ollis. It is my great honor to host today's ceremony. I am humbled and extremely proud of the Department of Transportation and the team at the Staten Island Ferry for making today's celebration come to fruition. Our ceremony today will celebrate Michael's bravery and the ultimate sacrifice he made serving this great country. Raised by two extraordinary parents, Bob and Linda Ollis, who instilled in him the incredible characteristics that are the quality of a hero. Lion-hearted, yes. Lion-hearted, loyal, virtuous, and selfless. Today we honor Staff Sergeant Ollis by commissioning a Staten Island ferry boat named in his honor, which will carry millions of people who will learn about him every day for decades to come. Some riders may ask, who was Staff Sergeant Michael H. Ollis? Simply put, he is Staten Island's hero. His incredible legacy both inspires and humbles us because of the magnitude of his sacrifice in August 2013. And now we are sharing him with the world. This is a bit personal for me because I live in New York, just a few blocks from the Ollis family. After recently meeting Bob and Linda Ollis, I learned that our sons went to the same school, and who knows, may have crossed paths in the neighborhood. So Staten Island is truly one big family. Without further ado, I would like to ask Michael's nephew, William Losciavo, to please lead us off with the Pledge of Allegiance. William?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Michael. I would now like to introduce Bernadette Harold from the Department of Transportation's Bridges Division. She's one of our own, and she will sing the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
That was beautiful, Bernadette. Thank you. I would now like to introduce and welcome the Commissioner of the Department of Transportation, Hank Gutman.
Thank you, Roseanne. And let me just start by, hi there, got a young man waving. Let me just start by welcoming the Ollis family, all of the veterans in the audience, all the active duty personnel in the audience, and as importantly, all the families who, in a very real and immediate sense share in their sacrifice and their commitment to our country. Let's have a hand for all of you. It's no exaggeration to say that New York City is united by the Staten Island Ferry. And these new boats, all of which will forever be known as the Alice class, represent our continued commitment to the people that live and work in this amazing borough. Now, many people have made these new ferries possible, too many to name, but I do want to call out a few. First, Mayor de Blasio. Second, our United States senators who secured the money, Senator Schumer, Senator Gillibrand, our federal partners at the U.S. DOT, and a special thanks to our partners at the Federal Transportation Administration. In particular, I want to thank Secretary Buttigieg, FTA Administrator Fernandez, and our FTA Regional Office Director, my neighbor Steve Goodman. And of course, your Staten Island Borough President, Jimmy Otto. Now, this ferry is named for a Staten Island hero, Michael Alice. All of you know the story well. He was killed in Afghanistan in 2013, saving the life, selflessly saving the life of a fellow soldier. We'd give up all of this if we could have him here with us today, but sadly, only in spirit. But we're here today to honor him and his family. This boat will carry his name, and as I said, the whole new class of boats will carry his name as well. For those who can't see, let me tell you what the plaque reads. Staff Sergeant Michael Alice, September 16, 1988 to August 28, 2013. 2nd Battalion, 22nd Infantry Regiment, 1st Brigade Combat Team, 10th Mountain Division. Distinguished Service Cross, Silver Star, Bronze Star, Purple Heart, Polish Army Medal of Honor, and Afghan Star. He was a war hero from New Dorp who sacrificed his life saving a Polish soldier in Afghanistan. He was taken way too soon, but he showed a selfless dedication to his country and to helping others that can be an inspiration for all of us. This ferry proudly shares his name and was dedicated to his memory on October 4th, 2021. That's the plaque. Now, a word about the new ferries. We have a group of new ferries coming, thanks to $85 million from the Federal Transportation Administration, a grant for more maneuverable boats in the wake of Sandy. The city and the federal government worked together to secure that funding for this state-of-the-art boat. This is the first new boat in 16 years. It has new technology, making it better and more maneuverable and safer for the ferry staff. And for passengers, we've got comfortable seats, cell phone chargers, an oval walking track so that you can see the harbor as you're crossing on your way to or from work and still get your steps in. We expect to have it up and running, and as I said, there are more to come. We expect to have it up and running later this year after the crew's trained on all the new equipment on this boat. I'd like to give a big thank you to the Staten Island Ferry staff, led by our Deputy Commissioner and Captain, John Garvey. John, out there somewhere. Former Deputy Commissioner James D. Simone, and the many, many people at the Department of Transportation who've helped make this happen. Your service honors all of us and the City of New York. It is now my distinct honor to introduce our next speaker, His Eminence, Cardinal Timothy Dolan of the Archdiocese of New York. Cardinal? Thank you.
Thanks for your leadership.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. It's sure an honor and a joy for me to be here with you, and I highly appreciate the invitation. It's difficult to talk because I literally have a bit of a lump in my throat because I just had the honor of meeting a Navy veteran. See him over there? Raise your hand. He's 96 years old, and It's the lump in my throat is because he would have served in the same Pacific Theater as my dear father did, and my dad would be exactly his age, 96, were he alive today. So thanks for your service, and thanks for reminding me of my dear dad, who was a proud Navy man. I'm just honored to be with such distinguished company, but especially with the Alice family. Ever since I got to know them in 2013, I've had a special spot in my heart for Michael, and I've never failed to be moved by his story. When Jesus tells us greater love than this no one has, and to give his or her life for another, Michael comes to mind. And wouldn't you agree, in what seems to be an era of selfishness and maybe an era of entitlement where we simply ask what people can do for us, Mike Alice is a radiant example of selfless service and doing for others. And I feel he is here with us because I feel this is just my faith speaking. If I can't speak of faith, who in the world can? But it's my faith in the Catholic belief in the communion of saints, that he's with God because he gave the ultimate sacrifice, which means he's with us as well. He joins heroes like Father Vincent Capodanno, who gave a Staten Islander, also buried at, he's at St. Peter's though, legendary Staten Island heroes. And Staten Island has given us so many of them, and now Sergeant Alice joins them. He brought people together in his service, and right now he's bringing us together. So isn't it fitting that a vehicle, a ferry, which brings people together back and forth, would be named in his honor? God bless him always. God bless you. God bless the Alice family. And thanks for keeping his memory alive.
Thank you, Your Eminence and Commissioner Gutman. The story of Michael is so dramatic, as the Commissioner and the Cardinal mentions. It's a soldier who died saving the life of another soldier. The Polish soldier whose life he saved, Lieutenant Karol Kripitza, could not be with us today, but I understand that Michael's sacrifice is the stuff of legends in Poland. And we are honored here today to welcome the General Counsel of Poland, Andrew Kubicki.
First of all, let me start with saying that this is my honor and the honor of my country to be here at this beautiful celebration of welcoming this wonderful ferry in the fleet. Thank you so much to Linda and Bob for keeping up the memory of his wonderful and courageous son. We try to do everything what's possible to help in that manner as Poland, because you know that you become a family by blood, and somehow we have become a family by our hearts and souls. Yesterday we had a wonderful parade along the Fifth Avenue, and all his family were there under the Polish flag. I cannot imagine how difficult it must be to face what happened in 2013 and know that your son has gave his life, something that is the most precious to all of us, so his fellow soldier can still be alive with his family in Poland, Karol Cierpica. But you turned it into something beautiful, to show what it means to be not just buddies in the war zone, which must be so difficult beyond imagination. And thank you to all veterans who are here with us. It's important to hear their stories. What is the most important here for us is to make the story of Michael Alice well known all over the world. And then when I look at the ferry, this beautiful ferry, it's not only the mean of transportation for people from Staten Island to commute to New York City and back, but also for many tourists. They take Staten Island ferry to enjoy the beautiful view of Manhattan and Statue of Liberty. And this is the exact same view that the thousands of immigrants from all over the world, including Poland, saw when they were coming here to the Promised Land, to United States of America, to seek for their safe haven. And I don't think there is any other country like Poland which understands so greatly that freedom is never given. And this courageous act of Staff Sergeant Ollis reminds us that this is never given, and sometimes it requires the highest commitment and sacrifice. I would like to thank everyone who made this event happen, and also this beautiful brand new ferry, Staten Island Ferry team, the Department of Transportation, all who secured the federal funds. I hope this will serve the community, and we will make sure that, if possible, U.S. is opening for European tourists starting November, that each and everyone from Poland who comes here to New York has this opportunity to take the Staten Island Ferry, this particular one, to get to know Staff Sergeant Ollis, his beautiful story, and to know how beautiful ally was he for Poland and United States as a great ally for Poland as well. Thank you so much for having me here. Thank you.
At this time, I would like to welcome Mr. Bob Ollis, Michael's dad.
Thank you, but that's not for me, that's for Michael. I have a lot of thank yous, so you're going to have to kind of, please bear with me. And I just have a little story to say that one day Linda and I were on the Little League field, and they were naming a team after Michael. And this gentleman, I had to say, he was the borough president, but I had no idea. Okay. Sorry, Jim. Walks over to us and says, Mr. and Mrs. Ollis, hi, my name is Jim Otto, and we're going to name that ferry after your son. And we looked at him, and we were like in amazement. Little by little, letter by letter, every time he contacted somebody, he sent us what he did. And he stayed in touch with us until the day they said, okay, Jimmy, you've got your boat. And Linda said, Jimmy, thank you. But there was also one other person behind the scenes by the name of Anita Selleck. If she here, I know she's here, and she's hiding. Stand up, please. Now, I don't know Anita, neither does Linda. This is a woman who took the cause up to get the petitions going through Staten Island for the name to help Jimmy fight City Hall. And I want to thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Your name is here also. Thank you, Anita. Thank you very, very much. But I want to thank a lot of politicians, the mayor, Senator Schumer. They were all announced before. I'm terrible with names. I'm lucky if I remember my own. And I want to thank them all. But I want to thank everybody that's sitting in front of me right now. I have the 10th Mountain standing over there. That's Michael's unit. And they just came out of the field, jumped in the car, and drove down this morning. And then they're going back 6 hours after the ceremony. So that's what the great soldiers, these wonderful Coast Guard. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for all that. And the Cardinal stole Emerald from me, but again, I love you. Thank you for your service. You're the greatest generation. I can't say anything more but that. But I want to thank the Vietnam vets that are here, the Iraqi, Afghanistan soldiers. Michael was a tremendous part of that. And if you knew Michael, I think in some way you can you can understand what he did, that he fought from the front. He was a ranger. You go to the fight. You don't run from the fight. Just like 9/11, Stephen Siller, the rest of those guys, they didn't run from the fight. They ran towards the fight. And that was Michael. I can give you the whole story, but you've heard it, you've read it, and I hope you've read it 1,000 more times. I want to keep Michael's name rolling forever and ever and ever, because I think he deserves it. And it's not for me, and it's not for Linda or Kim or Kelly and my grandchildren and my son-in-laws. It's for Michael. This whole thing is for Michael. If he was here today, he'd say, "Pop, what the hell are you doing?" He said, "Get off of this thing. What are you doing? I don't want this. Get away," because that's how humble he was. But yet, guess what, Michael? We're forcing it down your throat, okay? So get used to it. And I'd love to hear your complaints, though. I really would. Believe me, I really do. But I thank all the politicians that are sitting behind me that came for their effort to help with the boat. I don't think there's one of them up here that can't say that somewhere along the line they jumped in to help name this ferry, help the president, the borough president, to get this ferry named after Michael. And again, I thank you all for coming. There's Mama. She's the best in the world. She's the one that had the child, carried him for 9 months, birthed him, fed him, educated him, clothed him. And what did I do? I went back and forth to work, and I had fun. She did all the hard work, and that's to all the mothers also. So Linda, thank you. And Michael, I know is here over you. And I thank my family for being here. and have a great day. God bless you all. I love you. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Alice, for sharing Michael's legacy with all of us. At this time, please welcome Congressmember Nicole Meliotakis. Representative Meliotakis is not only speaking as a member of Congress, but is also speaking on behalf of Eastern Shipbuilding, who are the builders of all three of the Staten Island Ferries Alice-class vessels. Their executives, unfortunately, could not make it here today from Florida. Eastern is based on the Gulf Coast of Florida, which has taken a battering over the last few years, including by Hurricane Michael, an enormous Category 5 storm that devastated Panama City in 2018. In the coming months, we expect and are looking forward to seeing the two other Alice-class ferries, the Sandy Ground and the Dorothy Day. Congressmember, we saw that you christened the Dorothy Day ferry earlier this year, and we look forward to seeing her arrive soon in Staten Island. So everyone, please welcome Congresswoman Meliotakis.
Thank you. Thank you, Commissioner, and thank you to all of you for being here today. I just want to say thank you to the Alice family for sharing Michael with all of us and the world. He is someone who is our hometown hero, and all of us, even though we could never feel what you have felt losing a son, know that he definitely took a piece of our hearts. We are so appreciative and indebted to Michael's selflessness, that he gave his life for this country, for his community, and there's no other special way to honor him in this community than to name a Staten Island ferry after him. It is a symbol that everyone around the world knows. It is a vital part of our transportation system, and I want to thank the Borough President for leading that effort and never giving up to ensure that this day came and that that ferry will bear that name for decades to come. It's not just Staten Islanders that were affected by Michael. As you mentioned, his unit is here. The Polish people from across the world are so indebted to his service. The people who built this, as a member of the Coast Guard and Maritime Committee, I was able to see the facility, the pride that they had in building this ship in honor of Michael. When you walk into their office, they have a letter from you thanking them. Right, first thing you see when you walk in. He touched so many people around the world, and this will ensure that his name will be remembered for decades to come by millions of passengers, by all of Staten Island and New York City. And I join the entire community in congratulating you. And once again, thank you for what you've done to keep Michael's memory alive and to make sure that everyone in our community knows of his sacrifices. God bless you.
Thank you, Congresswoman. I'd like to ask Bernadette to please come back to the podium and grace us with another beautiful song.
Whenever one door closes Promise me that you'll give faith a fighting chance. And when you get the choice to sit it out or dance, I hope you dance. I hope you dance. Yeah. I hope you never fear those mountains in the distance, and never settle for the path of least resistance. Living might mean taking chances, but they're worth taking. Loving may be a mistake, but it's worth the making. Don't let some hell-bent heart leave you bitter. When you come close to selling out, reconsider. Give the heavens above more than just a passing glance. And when you get the choice to sit it out or dance, I hope you dance. Time is a wheel in motion. It's constantly moving us along. Tell me who wants to look back one day and wonder where have all the years have gone. I hope you still feel small standing by the ocean. Whenever one door closes, I hope one more opens. Promise me that you'll give faith a fighting chance. And when you get the choice to sit it out or dance, I hope you dance. Oh, I hope you dance. I hope you dance. Yes, I hope you dance. Oh, don't you know that time is a wheel in motion? Yes, it is. Constantly moving us along. Tell me who wants to look back one day and wonder where have all the years have gone? Don't you know that time is a wheel in motion? Constantly, yes it is. It's constantly moving us along. Tell me who wants to look back one day and wonder where have all the years have gone. Oh, I hope you dance through the sunshine and the rain, through the joy and through the pain. Yeah. You have the choice to sit it out or dance. Come on and dance. We can't always figure it out, but I hope you dance it out. Come on and dance.
Thank you, Bernadette. That was amazing. I'd like now to take the opportunity to welcome some of our local elected officials that are here today. So first, I'd like to ask Assemblymember Michael Cusick to please come up, say a few words.
Thank you, Commissioner. I want to thank DOT for putting this event on. I want to thank all those who are responsible for this magnificent ferry behind us. Bob and Linda and the family. I want to thank the borough president, because what Bob had said about the letters and the tenacity and just the effort to get this done and named after a true hero, it's not always easy. And Jimmy Otto was able to do that. So, Mr. Borough President, thank you. Thank you for doing this. Because there is no one more deserving than this honor than Michael Alice. You know, I've gotten to know Bob and Linda and the family since that tragic day, and I've been invited to many great ceremonies honoring Michael and his heroism. I was at the Polish consulate, I believe, in Manhattan. I was at the now the Alice VFW when the Army honored him, and all of those were just great honors and things that Michael and the family deserved. But as a Staten Island boy, you know, to have your name on the ferry, probably the most iconic symbol of our borough, and it transports our residents to work so they can feed and take care of their families. For me as a Staten Islander, this is a huge honor to have this named after Michael Alice. But what's great about it is, you know, I've listened to Bob talk about Michael, and I believe him that I think Michael would be like, all right, Cusick, get off the stage. You know, you're another politician. Let's stop talking. Let's get this going. But it seems like this vote will serve, and Bob, you had mentioned about people remembering Michael. This is a perfect way that they will remember Michael. You know, as elected officials, we try to put monuments and things that will have future generations remember our leaders and those who served our island well. Generations to come will know of Michael Alice. They will know what he did on that day, that bravery, that he didn't even think, he just did it. But what's great about his name being on that boat, I picture, and particularly my young daughter asking me one day as we ride on the Michael Alice, who was Michael Alice? And you don't just stop on that one day. You go through his life, right? And it was a short life, and I'm sad that I never met this young man. But that short life, I know by his parents and his family that he had the promise of doing great things past what he did that day. And my daughter and all the young people and the generations to come that will ride the Michael Alice will know that Michael is just a kid from Newdorp who became a hero, but will show everybody that we have heroes walking amongst us every day, and they just don't tell you, they just act. And that's Michael Alice. God bless Michael Alice, and thank you for having me here today.
Thank you, Assemblymember. Now I'd like to ask Assemblymember Michael Tanusis, please.
Thank you so much for having me here today. To the Alice family, thank you so much for the ultimate sacrifice that your son made. You know, Michael Alice made that sacrifice so we could have our freedoms. And he is the symbol of a true American patriot. And just like his legacy will continue to symbolize those freedoms, may this ferry boat also symbolize the freedoms that Michael Alice and all our true American patriots fought for so we could have. So I pledge to you, and I know I speak for my colleagues, when I say we will be there with you every step of the way. Anytime there is a battle to be had, just like we fought to have the parade this year, the run this year, and we will continue to do that to make sure that his legacy continues for generations to come. Thank you very, very much for having me.
Thank you, Assemblymember Tanusis. I'd like to now welcome Assemblymember Riley to say a few words.
Thank you, Commissioner. Thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Alice, for allowing me to be a part of this today. Thank you to my fellow veterans who are here representing, to the U.S. Army active duty members here today. We have the K-9 named after Staff Sergeant Michael Hollis here today as well with the MTA PD. This is, we heard many speaking before me that I didn't get a chance to meet Michael either, but I wore that uniform, and that makes me his brother. Service, commitment, and leadership. That defines Michael. That defines his legacy. That service, commitment, and leadership will live on for years to come as he services all Staten Islanders with this ferry boat. Fidelis ad mortem, faithful until death. With this boat, he is faithful in death and will live on in our spirit, in our heart, forever. God bless you. God bless the Hollis family. Thank you.
Thank you, Assemblymember Riley. I would like to welcome Senator Diane Savino to the podium. Didn't see you. Sorry.
Thank you, Roseanne. I want to thank DOT and, of course, our Borough President, Jimmy Otto, for making sure that we got here to this day, and everyone who was involved. To the Hollis family, it's a very special day. It's also a very bittersweet day. The only reason that we're here dedicating this new ferry and placing Michael's name on it is because he made the ultimate sacrifice for all of us who are here, and for the thousands of Staten Islanders who are going to ride this boat to and from in their everyday life for years to come. And as Assemblyman Cusick talked about, so many generations to come will say, who was Michael Hollis? And it'll give us an opportunity to talk about him and talk about the sacrifice that he made and the sacrifice that men and women in uniform make every day. Those of us that Assemblyman Riley referred to, the people that he served with, the people who serve today. And that is, as I said, it's special and it's bittersweet. And I want to say a particular thank you to the Hollis family, because you invited us in to the most painful moment in your lives. You allowed us to share your grief, but in a profound and special way, to celebrate Michael's life, his commitment, his legacy, and his future, as a remembrance of what can happen, what can be, even when your life is cut short, what you can accomplish. And so today is a special and bittersweet day, and one that we will remember for a very long time, as we will remember the legacy, the life, and the dedication of Michael Hollis. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Senator Savino. It is my great pleasure at this time to introduce Staten Island Borough President James Otto, who worked tirelessly to bring his dream of naming the new ferry after Staff Sergeant Michael Hollis into fruition. So please welcome Borough President Otto.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. You were familiar with Michael's story long before you came here this morning, and you have heard all of the wonderful and powerful words underscoring his amazing act, and that act of heroism. I'm not sure I or any of you out there, perhaps with the exception of those who have put on a uniform and served, can fully appreciate this act. The words describe it. You hear the word hero again and again. And intellectually, you understand what happened, what transpired, how he put himself in harm's way. And for all of the amazing praise so richly deserved, I still don't think that you or I can fully appreciate what he did. There was a really tragic day at City Hall, oh my God, 15 years ago, where a colleague of mine was assassinated. And I've talked about publicly that my first two steps went away from that, away from the sound. Think about something as simple as an unexpected sound and how you jump back, or a bee and how you move away. It's adaptive. Over millennia, we've trained to survive, to do that, to get away. And yet, Michael chose to go against human nature. So, I understand it, but I don't know if I fully appreciate the magnitude. What is much more readily apparent, what is much more evident, is the genesis of that. How, as Mike Cusick said, a kid from New York, a kid from Staten Island, grew into the man that would do that, grew into the soldier who would do that, and grew into that hero. Those roots are really obvious. He grew up in Bob and Linda's home. He is their son. And if you have spent even a minute of time with them, and I'm looking at you, General, you know the character and the integrity and the decency that they have that was poured into their son. And maybe you move toward the direction of understanding how Michael did that. I want to tell you a quick story. A couple months ago, the boat was being towed up to Staten Island. And I got a wonderful phone call from our DOT Borough Commissioner, Carolina. And she called me up and she said, I want you to be the person to call the Alice family. I know how emotionally invested you are in this. And it was a simple but really gracious and kind gesture. And I called Bob and Linda and I told them, and you could hear the excitement in their voice, and we talked about different places where you might be able to best view it. We agreed that Fort Wadsworth would be a really good spot. The family went out and scouted out the best spot for the next morning. And the next morning I got up and I went out, and you can make your way in the last parking lot at Fort Wadsworth and make your way through the tall grass, and you find yourself on the beach. You're half expecting to see half the Statue of Liberty buried at the end of Planet of the Apes, because Staten Islanders really don't go out there. And there's this makeshift jetty. It's rock and stone, and I climbed on it. And if there's any video out there of that, you would see I would last 30 seconds in the game Survivor. But I wanted to live tweet this image of this beautiful big orange boat coming in. And the boat was supposed to come in at 9 a.m. And at 9:45, I called Jason Rosevsky and Ed Burke and said, where is this thing? Because all I could think about was the family up on the bluff waiting for this. And if this boat doesn't arrive, did we cause them even more angst? And I text Bob at one point and said, you know, we just reached out to DOT, it's coming. And he responded and said, we can see it in the binoculars. It's out there, it's coming, you could see it. And I tweeted that as part of this sort of live tweeting. And there's this constant crank out there who doesn't like me. No. And he took that tweet, yeah, there's more than one, yeah. 90 days of that. And he took that tweet. Oh, well, let me not jump ahead. So Bob says it's coming. So I went down to a different, like right under the Verrazano Bridge, and I waited, and all of us, if you were there, you know, it was just an amazing moment. This thing getting closer and closer, this beautiful orange boat in honor of this amazing moment. And when it passed, it was a beautiful moment. And I went back to my phone, walking to my truck, and I saw this guy who doesn't like me took that tweet that I said, I just talked to Bob Hollis, he says in the binoculars, and he said something ridiculous, and I was like, man, even that, why? And I got angry, and all of the negativity of this crazy professional wrapped in one, and I was fighting with myself, so let it go, who cares, it's so stupid, this is a beautiful moment. And I got in my truck, and I was gripping the steering wheel, and the phone rang. And in my profession, you don't answer the phone if it's a number you don't know. And I looked at it and I pressed the button. And it was Bob and Linda. It was a different number. And they were so happy and so proud. And they told me that story about the Little League. And Bob said to me, your dad had just died, and you came up to us. And I was in my truck driving back, and I'm like, these people are like angels. Here I am in my selfish little world right now, and their decency came through. And they just lifted me out of that silliness. And it's just no wonder, it is no wonder Michael became the man and the hero he did. I will close with this. I want to touch on something that Mike Cusick and Senator Savino alluded to. And it's a theme that I mentioned at the ribbon cutting of this beautiful park in the South Shore in honor of an EMT from Staten Island who died in the line of duty, Christopher Prescott. And I said, this is a city park, it's free. The cost of admission is understanding and knowing Christopher Prescott's story. So this beautiful orange boat behind me, this beautiful massive technology, the fare remains free. But the cost of admission is not only, as my colleague said, understanding and knowing the story of Michael Ollis. The cost of admission is, if you ride it, you have to do it every day, if you ride it just once that week, tap into a scintilla of the selflessness of Michael Ollis. Pay it forward in one small way. If all of Staten Island who rides this boat can do that, think about the flywheel of goodness that can emanate from this young man's life. I will close with this. I don't know if I'm supposed to introduce the mayor. Keep going. That's dangerous.
2 minutes.
2 minutes.
Few minutes.
Few minutes. It was a good thing I got sucked down the YouTube rabbit hole and watched some Don Rickles roasts, Dean Martin roast this weekend. I want to close with, I'm supposed to introduce him, and he's on his way. I want to thank the mayor, because this was his decision. He ultimately said thumbs up or thumbs down. And there are a lot of people who had a lot of good ideas, and there are a lot of good people out there who we all want to honor. The letter that we wrote to him was May 2014, which is our first year in office. It's within the first few months. It really is amazing that this has lived through the entire term that we've served in office. But he deserves credit for saying yes. He could have easily gone in a different direction. He could have easily maybe gone in a safer direction. And he chose this because he knew it was right. And I really am going to close with this, because I've exhausted my time up here. I will tell you, I have 90 days left in elective office. But when I have 90 seconds left of breath, and I think back on my life, one of the images that I will have, as someone who has chased his entire life the validation of his old man, what I will remember is that day in 2016 when Bill de Blasio and I walked into Linda and Bob's home, and the look of pride and love on their face. So, Mayor, I hope you're a couple of seconds away, but thank you for that. And God bless each and every one of you.
Lindsay, would you like to say a few words?
This reminds me of my swearing in at the assembly when we had to tone up there and make something.
Okay.
You got it?
At this time, I'm going to ask Bob Ollis to come back up and recognize a few people that are here. Bob?
Hello. The two people I I kind of missed. And General Sutton, please stand. This is the commissioner, the former commissioner of New York City, Brigadier General Emily Toro, Gold Star mother, does so much work for the Gold Star families. I thank you, and thank you for being here. There is he doesn't know it yet, but hello, Leon. He's the commander of the Staff Sergeant Michael Ollis, VFW Post 9587. And it's unfortunate the guy who started that movement, John Hojanaki, the former thing, is not here. He's out in Arizona sweating to death. So there's teachers, Michael's teachers and friends. That's all I have to say, and I thank everybody. And again, I thank the mayor. He's coming. Okay, goodbye.
Don't put me that. I don't know. They're going to do that over there.
Ladies and gentlemen, the mayor of the city of New York, Bill de Blasio.
Everybody, I just got to tell you, when I'm in the presence of the Ollis family, I feel something very special. I've gotten to know this family over the years, and they really represent everything that's great and good about Staten Island and New York City and America. Let's thank them. Let's thank them. Bob and Linda and Kimberly, the whole family. I can tell you personally that any family that sent someone off to war goes through so much. And for so many families, every day, just a hope and prayer that their loved one will come home. And any family who's blessed enough to have their loved one come home and be whole, count your blessings. And some families like mine, my dad came home from Okinawa, and thank God he was alive, but his life was never the same, because he lost half a leg and he carried the emotional scars, but he still came home. And there were good times, and there were some tough times, but there still were those good times, and he still came home. But the Ollis family can't say that. And when you go through that kind of pain, and you know someone that you love so deeply is not coming back, you can never blame anybody for withdrawing. You can't. You have to understand, you have to support anybody, whatever they're going through. If their feelings tell them they just need to step back from the world, all you can do is love them and support them. But there are these amazing people who take that pain and turn it as best they can into some way to uplift all of us, give us a little more hope, and give us a sense that we can do something better together. So the reason I honor the Ollis family is not just for who they are as people, because if you spend time, you know they're good and warm people, but for the strength to carry on Michael's name in such a manner that inspires us all. Again, God bless you. God bless you. And I also want to note, we talk about heroes, and there are lots of different kinds of heroes, but this is the ultimate kind of hero, who will give their life to save another and to protect a comrade in arms, no matter what the cost. That's someone worth honoring and remembering. In what he did, Michael brought great honor to his family, to this borough, to this city, to this nation. And this extraordinary, beautiful new boat, if there's any way to honor someone and try just a little to meet that heroism, I hope this is a good example. Synonymous with Staten Island, the place he loved. Ferry boat that means so much to everyone's lives every day, that makes everything else possible for them, but also carries them to safe harbor. And that's the oath he took as a soldier. And that's what this beautiful boats will do for so many Staten Islanders, for so many New Yorkers every day. If you look at it, you can see it's world class, it's top of the line, it is worthy of him. So we've been through a lot, all of us, the last year and a half. But I think it's fair to say, and for all my colleagues here, all the elected officials, I want to thank them for all they do. I think we've all been united, regardless of party, in one common mission this last year and a half, to try with all our might to keep people safe. That's what Michael did with all his might, with his whole being. He kept a colleague, he kept a comrade safe. And when doing that, he showed us the way to live. I wish we didn't lose him. But his name will now be remembered forever. Thank you. God bless you all.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I would like to thank all of our distinguished speakers, the Alice family, and our guests for joining us today at the commissioning of the Staff Sergeant Michael H. Alice, Staten Island Ferry. At this time, I'd like to ask Mr. and Mrs. Alice, Mayor de Blasio, Borough President, Commissioner Gutman, and all of our distinguished guests here on the podium to please follow, the staff here. We're going to be going to the ferry to do the Bunting Ceremony. Everyone else, please stay seated until they arrive, and then everyone can come over and join to watch the ceremony. Thank you again, and thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you. It'll only be a few minutes before they set up, and I'll let you guys know.